All right. We're good.
What's up? Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to call the October 21st Board of Commission meeting to order. Today, we're going to have the prayer by Commissioner Sarkel, followed by the pledge by Commissioner Moody.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today with grateful and humble hearts. We're thankful, Lord, that we can live in a free country and serve our neighbors and friends and family. We ask you would be with us today in our meeting, allow us to make sound and thoughtful decisions. And we ask, Lord, too, that you would be with those who have experienced loss, that you would give them some comfort, knowing that someday we all will be reunited with you in your realm of glory. In your most precious Son's name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry. Thank you, everyone. Leslie, roll call, please.
District 1 Chairman John Black.
Present.
District 2 Commissioner Roger Ballard.
Here.
District 3 Commissioner Gary Heberling.
Here.
District 4 Commissioner Bill Sarkella.
Present.
District 5 Commissioner Christine Lee. Present. District 6 Commissioner Evans Ehart.
Here.
District 7 Commissioner John Moody.
Here.
Thank you, Leslie.
Welcome.
Just want to say it's good to have everybody back in the room together. I think largely this group makes decisions together as a group. Typically, we're all always here, but sometimes some of us are gone. But again, it's good to have everybody back today. Moving on, there is not an addition, but there is an adjustment or replacement motion for our agenda today, and that's related to FA 161-25. Everybody's going to have a salmon colored sheet for that replacement motion. I need a motion to enter or to adopt today's agenda with that one amendment.
I'll make that motion. Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, supported by Commissioner Ehart, to adopt the agenda with the one amendment. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Agenda is adopted. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve our meeting minutes from October 7th.
I'll make the motion.
I'll support. Motion by Commissioner Ehart, support by Commissioner Moody to adopt the meeting minutes from October 7th. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I think they were so short that they didn't feel they could approve them. Just saying.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You received your correspondence from Jody through email the other day. We're going to move into commissioner reports, and we are going to start with Commissioner Ballard.
Okay, last night I attended the Lamont Township meeting. Prior to the regular meeting, they held a very short special meeting to approve election workers. At the regular meeting, they approved the treasurer's report. Planning Commission is reviewing several ordinances, some that don't exist, some that need a little work on them. They're outdated. They're looking at blight violation fees and procedures, sales of cemetery plots, quarry ordinances and RV storage, and also lawn upkeep. I also was at the Argyle Township meeting a week ago last night. The fire department took possession of their new to them rescue truck. It's a 2012 with 35,000 miles on it. They said it looks like brand new from top to bottom. They're going to begin outfitting that unit and we'll have it in service by the end of the year. They had some discussion on their fire siren, which is currently not operating. They approved 2 land splits, approved their alternative energy source ordinance, and their insurance provider reviewed a much abbreviated from last year review of their policy, which was welcome. And they still have an opening for a zoning administrator. Theirs resigned. City of Marlette, they had a special meeting. I did not make it to that, but they voted in favor of the marijuana ordinance. The mayor has filed a petition, put that on a ballot. Work on the duck drain project is moving along quite well. The concrete work looks like it's complete on M53. I talked or texted with the drain commissioner. Their weather permitting, they hope to do the paving on 53 on Thursday. So that will open that back up. There's only been, to my knowledge, one accident there, which was a T-bone, but that's all I've heard about. So thankful for that. Then next week they'll work on Chartered Street, getting the paving done on that. I see they are working on curbing and which is another plus because they've never had curbing all the way down that street, but I believe it will be now. That's it for that part of my reports.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Gary, your report, please.
Yes, I attended the Watertown Township meeting. The current supervisor, left that position and, I'm not sure if they're going to appoint someone or if they're going to have a special election. I don't know, what transpired after that meeting. Also in that meeting, the planning commission had, approved, for the new solar company that took over from Samsung to move forward. They are, moving forward, putting driveways in, on Miller Road, and they're also working on Walker Road, so they're moving forward with that. Last night I attended Sandusky City Council meeting and gave my report, monthly report, and also in that meeting they talked about expanding the runway. And I don't quote me, I think it was another 448 feet, 88 feet, so they could get larger Learjets to come in and land on the runway, and they're also looking at long-term adding lights to the runway. End of my report.
Thank you, Gary. Bill?
Port Sanilac discussed their ORV golf cart ordinance, looking at some truck traffic restrictions, and the water rate increases have been a hot topic there as well. Applegate updated their village Facebook page. They have some new trustees. The fire report trucks all passed inspections, and they're doing a job description for everybody that's has a position there as well. Washington Township discussed Getsy Road maintenance, an election drop box, and then they're doing some litigation concerns with the drive-in circumstances that have happened there. Bridgehampton had property tax discussion on PA 116 border review, and then their hall is under repair, and then they've been monitoring. A couple of their trustees have attended the Fairgrove Township. Apparently, one of the firms wants to do a battery storage facility in Fairgrove Township, so they've been monitoring that to see how that's going to progress and how could it affect us down this way. Sand Lake Township, they signed their gravel agreement with the county, and they're also doing looking for a zoning administrator and some work on their hall as well. And the millage that they passed for CFA, they actually are going to have a rate reduction on that because it turns out they didn't need as much funding as they anticipated. So for once, maybe a millage will be decreased for us. And then that's all I have right now.
Great. Thank you, Bill. Christine?
I was at the Brown City Council meeting, and the police report, the radar gun has been slowing people down going through town. And Officer Perez went over the new format of the police report. They passed resolution 2511, levy a special tax or assessment to recover monies owed to the city. The fitness court, they talked about it. The money is there to purchase it and store it. The Brown City Shop class is going to repair and fix the picnic tables and benches. They have a CEM grant that they're going to put a new furnace in the DPW and some insulation. The dump truck is not in yet. One of the locals farms donated the corn stalks and pumpkins, and another one donates to decorate the towns. The old historical museum that's at the school, they were cleaning that out because they're looking at maybe using it for the big festival that's coming in next summer. They have 2 candidates for the city manager position. And the police chief is going down to 1 day per week because of his health. And so they're giving a stipend to Officer Perez that's filling in for those hours that the chief usually fills in. And then I had a meeting with Maple Valley Township. They had a piece of land that a farmer wanted to lease, and their insurance company and the lawyer recommend not to do it because of liability. And their supervisor is looking to step down, and he's looking for a replacement to take his place. And they're pretty sure they have somebody in mind, but until that. And I like to say tomorrow night, Elk Township has their township meeting, and their treasurer, Lee Fork, passed away this past weekend. So I don't know what's going to happen there. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Christine. I myself had some phone conversations with some Delaware Township board members and residents. They just had some concerns about the development at Delaware Park. I expect some follow-up conversations about that. That's all I have. Evans?
I don't, most of you've already seen, but Lexington Township manager, I mean, not Township, Lexington Town manager resigned this past week, so they'll be on the hunt for a new manager. That's it.
Do you think that's an issue with the county commissioner serving that area, that running them out of there?
I don't think it's the commissioner's fault. I mean, if I had to say, I mean, I think he's nothing but polite.
Gotcha.
It's probably the last commissioner that they had the issue with.
Probably. I mean, I heard stories about that guy.
Thank you, Evans.
Yep.
John?
On Tuesday, the 14th, I had Speaker Township. They have 87% of their taxes collected this year so far. And the fire department had 4 runs. They also got a FEMA grant they were able to buy 12 sets of new gear for 12 firefighters. They only had to have a 5% match for that. So that was pretty good. They have 6 houses. They issued 6 permits for houses, 2 for barns and 1 for a pond. In the zoning administrator's report. And they bought their supervisor a new computer because their first was dying. On Wednesday, the 15th, I had Work Township. There's only 2 items on their agenda. One was approval of their paying of their bills, and the other was approving their minutes from the meeting before. Joe Pavlov, our district representative, House of Representative, stopped in just to give a little update. And Lexington had a representative there from the water department because they had a low pressure incident on that same day on the day before on Tuesday. But they got that all worked out. And then on Thursday, I had Fremont Township. They stated that our work crew from the sheriff's office was there doing a little work around the building and around their cemetery. They had last Saturday, they had a trick or treat event at their building. And they removed the porta potty from the playground area until spring. And that's about it.
John, that FEMA grant, that was only a 5% match for that fire gear. Did they have any further information on that? Or is that a grant that maybe they could share with you that we could share with other townships? Because that's a pretty good deal. And that's the turnout gear has been a big problem.
I think it was this one's already expired.
Okay.
They filled that out like way back in like February.
So this is something
And it
that
was just awarded.
almost a year ago and it
Yeah.
just got awarded. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your report. Appreciate everyone's commissioner reports. Nathan, your administrator report, please.
Yes, thank you. Wanted to start off by saying a couple of the grants that we're working through right now that have been talked about for a little bit. There's some work being done on the chill grant. That was the $500,000 that was awarded to work through some home repairs in the county. HDC is the third-party administrator on that, and we had our first submission for some work that had gotten done and received some reimbursement on that. So that is moving forward. The Peck Park project, I believe, is fully complete now. So they're happy. So hopefully residents take good care of that. And that will be a nice addition too.
Looks nice from the road. I haven't driven up.
You didn't go play it yet?
No, I have not. I've been waiting for you, Evan.
Oh, well, give me a call.
Guys need to make play date.
Yeah.
So that's good that that's done. Also, the monument on the front yard, you might see kind of the bases there. They're expecting delivery on that the 23rd, so that would be Thursday. They're expecting to deliver that, so that could be here this week.
So the bases are all done. They just have to bring in the monument and actually put it up.
Yep, and then when they get the monument up, then Gordy Williams is gonna do the cement work once that's up around it to kind of mimic what we have out here, so. The cement work, and then I think the holdup right now is they ordered some lights that will go right in the ground in the cement and they shine up on the monument. But when they got a hold of the electrician, it was like a 4-week lead time on those. So we're probably about 2 weeks into that right now. So there might be a couple weeks until we get the cement work done. And then last Friday, I spent part of the day over in D Ford at the Thumb Prosperity Summit, a nice event. It brought together some local leaders from Huron, Tuscola, and Sanilac County. Some good information was provided. Some of the things are a little bit concerning for the region, I guess I would say. One of the things that was noted, Huron County's lost about 5,300 people the last 10 years. They're at about 30,000 people now. We've dropped in the last 10 years from about 44,500. We're roughly 40,000 people now. So aging population, not bringing in a lot of youth into the area or families. We know we've got a declining population. Another thing I thought was interesting is vacant properties in this area in Sanilac County. 70% of the vacant properties are seasonal use or second homes for people only. So when you talk about expanding your housing stock for people, it makes it very challenging when there's seasonal homes or second homes for people, because it's just not gonna allow influx of people into the area. So and I would say, I think we all know, I don't think Sanilac County is looking for an influx of people, but bringing some younger people in. I think people here like their space. They like not to be crowded with neighbors, but when that existing housing stock is kind of locked up for second homes and seasonal homes, it's challenging. So I thought that was quite interesting. So that's all I have.
Any questions for Nathan?
Just a comment on land my brother-in-law owns it's like 9.1 acres right next door to me. He received an offer in the mail from some outfit out in Vegas or Nevada, for that property of $20,500 for 9.1. And this already has sewer and sanitary mains running through it. I told him I'd give him 21,000 for it. And we use it like it's our own anyways, but it's still, yeah, it's something.
Any further questions for Nathan? Hearing none, Nathan, thank you for your administrator report. At this time, we're up to public comments pertaining to the agenda. Are there any public comments pertaining to the agenda today? Seeing none, we're going to move on. Next up is interviews for our Veterans Affairs Committee. Frederick is not here, but Thomas Ellenson. You're here. Would you step up to the podium? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Thomas, bear with me for just a second. I skipped over. I got Keegan up next. Keegan, I apologize. You have a presentation for apportionment report.
Yep.
Welcome.
Thank you. So today I have the 2025 apportionment report that is ready to be approved. So what I did is I put together a short presentation to go with the apportionment report, because the apportionment report has quite a few numbers and they're all small, and just to give a little more insight into what you're approving here and what goes into creating the apportionment report.
Just give me
No problem. So the apportionment report is a summary of all of the millages and the special assessment millages that are to be levied in the county. The report also includes the current taxable value, along with an estimate of what those millages are going to levy off that taxable value. So the apportionment report is created throughout the year using several reports. Those reports are, the first one is the millage reductions fractions computation form. We call that the L4028. And I'll have examples of all these reports here in a little bit. The next one is the millage reduction fraction calculation worksheet, which is really similar to the 4028, but we call that 4034. And then the tax rate request form, which is the L4029, which you might be familiar with. The county fills out one of those each year for the millages that they want to levy. Before getting into those four forms, I want to talk a little bit about the millage reduction fraction and what it is and why it gets applied. So when a taxing authority's taxable value from last year to this year grows more than the current rate of inflation, then a millage reduction fraction is placed on all the millages that authority is going to be levying. It's done to reduce the burden on the taxpayers. So the way that's calculated is using this formula that's up there. You take the last year's taxable value, minus the current year losses, and you multiply that by the current rate of inflation. And then you divide all of that by the current year taxable value minus the current year additions. So you use that formula to get a fraction, and then that fraction is applied on the 4029 to reduce the millages permanently. So the L 4028, which I was talking about before, is what we use to calculate these millage reduction fractions. So you can see up here, going across, you have your previous year taxable value, you have your current year taxable value, you have your the value of the losses, the value of the additions, and then here is where the millage reduction fraction is generated for each of the taxing authorities. So we take this form, we fill it out, and we send it to all the surrounding counties. They also fill out a form, and then they send us their forms. We take those forms and we put it into what's called a L 4028 intercounty report. And that's for the school districts or anything, any taxing authority that doesn't follow county lines. So if we have one that's in our county and then one that's in another county, then we have their form, we add the taxable values together, and then we can calculate a millage reduction fraction for them. And that's done in May of each year. So this next form is the L 4034. Like I said, it's very similar to the L 4028. So similar, in fact, that we really only filled this form out upon request. But basically, you see here, it's got in the box down here is the exact same numbers from the 4028, but it's just laid out in that formula. So you can clearly see which values are being used where, and then it generates a millage reduction fraction. And then the last one is 4029. This is the one that the county fills out one of these each year. You have all of your millages listed. So basically how that reduction fraction gets applied is you have your last year's millages here that have been permanently reduced, and then they are multiplied by this column 6 here to get your new millages going forward. And then those millages over here are placed in the column to request those millages to be up this year. So that is a little bit about what goes into creating the apportionment report. And so I figured I would just touch on the apportionment report itself here instead of going through the pages and reading. I'll just give an overview of what's included on each page. So the first page is the board letter that just states that it's a complete summary of the taxable value, millage rates, special assessment millage rates levied within each township and city in Sanilac County. Page 2, that is going to be where the county, township, city, and village millage rates are listed. So on that, and each of these pages are going to be pretty similar as to what information they include, but on the left you have the taxing authority, then you have the taxable value, then you'll have the allocated, that's going to be the operating rate for each authority there. And then the next column is going to be an estimate of what that millage rate is going to generate. The estimate on the apportionment report tends to be a little bit high for each of the units because it doesn't take into account the various exemptions and abatements and things like that that are in each township. So it's pretty close to an estimate, but it is tend to be slightly high. But still going across, then the report shows all of the extra voted millages and then an estimate of what those millages will generate. Page 3, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna read through the pages here. So page 3 is basically all the exact same information, but it's gonna go through the different authorities. So on this page, you'll see all the library districts in the county. Page 4 is gonna be the same information still, but it's gonna be for all the school districts. Page 5 is going to be for the intermediate school districts and community college. Page 6 is going to be the total tax rates. This is going to be separated by homestead and non-homestead. So if anybody wanted to go find or figure out what's the total millage rate they're going to pay on their property, they can go to this page, they can find their township, the school districts, and then they can look and see if I have a PRE on my property, I can see, okay, I'm going to be paying this rate for taxes this year. Page 7 is any millages that are levied by special assessments. And then page 8 is just the certification statement for reading the report. So I apologize if I went a little bit fast there. So I don't know if there's any questions or anything like that regarding the apportionment report.
Questions for Keegan?
The report.
Yeah, it's a great job with the report, Keegan, and you explained it well, and I appreciate you including all that stuff with us so that we could go through that and because equalization is sometimes can be a bit of a mystery.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah, but you do a good job of explaining it, so thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
There's any questions for Keegan? I think we have your report up for later on the agenda.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thomas, I apologize, but you're up for your interview. Welcome. It's good to have you.
Again,
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
did you all get a copy of my letter?
We
Yeah.
did.
Oh, okay. Any questions? I think it says pretty much everything.
He's been attending all the Maple Valley Township meetings for quite a
10
Wow.
years.
while. So,
I'm also on the planning committee and I'm the zoning administrator and the chairman of the board of review.
Okay.
But none of those would have any impact with what this is. So the meetings are on different days.
Well, very good. Well, if everybody's had a chance to read Thomas's letter and if nobody has any question for Thomas, we appreciate you being here today and we certainly appreciate your interest in serving Sanilac County in this role.
I've had some dealings with the office over there because I'm one of the veterans that uses some of those services. So I think they're doing a great job.
Good. Any further questions? Good. I'll see none. Thank you again, Thomas, for being here today. And thank you for your service.
Thanks.
And Frederick is not here today, so that's going to conclude our interviews for the Veterans Affairs Committee. So next up is going to be appointments to standing committees, and that is going to be to make an appointment to the Veterans Affairs Committee. We have two people for one appointment for a 4-year term expiring 11/1 of 29. And I'd like to enter Frederick and Thomas's names into nomination. I'll need a motion to do so.
make that motion.
Or we have a motion and support to enter their names into nomination, and then we will vote with our ballots. All in favor of that, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Commissioners Wood, please use your ballots.
Here you
Okay, I have 3 for Frederick Buchner. Am I saying that right? And then 4 for Thomas Ellenson.
Okay. Thomas, you are appointed to that committee. Congratulations. And again, thank you for your service. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. I see no need for county commission chair appointments, but we do have one general resolution today, and that is going to be related to Keegan's presentation. That is the 2025 Sanilac County Apportionment Report Resolution. Commissioner Moody is going to read that for us today.
Whereas pursuant to the Michigan Constitution of 1963, Section 31, Article 9, and Michigan Compiled Law 211.34, 211.34D, and or 211.24E, the various financial officers for the townships, cities, villages, school districts, and authorize the certified that the tax rate comply. And whereas Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby certifies that the millages have been reduced if necessary, and that the truth in taxation hearing has been held if necessary. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby authorize the spread of the following attached tax request collections and distribution shall be in accordance with the provisions of the General Property Tax Act of 1893, PA 206. local unit treasurers shall distribute the state education tax collections to the county treasurer pursuant to MCL 201.42. Be it further resolved that the county equalization director is authorized to amend if necessary.
Support.
I have a resolution offered by Commissioner Moody, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Leslie, a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Block,
Yes.
Commissioner Ehart,
Yes.
Commissioner Ballard,
Yes.
Commissioner Sarcella,
Yes.
Commissioner Heberly.
Yes.
Resolution is unanimously adopted. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Okay, that is going to conclude general resolutions today. That's going to move us into committee reports, and we're going to start with Commissioner Moody today.
I have no report. I have community corrections on Thursday and DHHS or medical care facility next Monday. I have no report.
Okay, thank you, John. Evans?
I had HTC last Wednesday, nothing pressing coming out of there. It's just obviously there is a federal run program and I was shut down, longer shut down, closer it gets to almost having to lay people off. So that's over, people are safe. So it's the only concern.
Okay. Is that everything, Evan?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Heberly and I met today in a personnel meeting. There was a request from the courts, and we're going to revisit that request in 2 weeks once we receive some further information. That's all. And we have a county planning commission meeting today at 3:00, and that meeting will be held here in BOC chambers. That's all I have. Christine?
I had my council on aging meeting yesterday and there's quite a bit of concerns because like the MSU SNAP program is going to be gone now and they're worried about other programs that might hurt the seniors. And so until they know more what's happening with the state and the federal, with all the shutdowns and stuff. So that's what they're worried about, the council on aging. I had Child Abuse Prevention Council. We had a donation from Right to Life. The baby pantry had they serviced 243 families, 582 unduplicated children, and 494 unduplicate adults for the baby pantry for the year. Child Safety Matters hired a prevention coordinator that goes into the schools. We all saw the scarecrows up on the courthouse lawn here. The Sanic Women Who Care, the Child Abuse Prevention was able to do a presentation. They have a lottery type thing and they only pull out 3. And we got to do a presentation and they received $500. The Harvest Hop, they had between 200 and 250 that attended. The trunk or treat is going to be at the CMH on October 24th. Career Day at Cross Lexington School on October 31st. Great Start Collaborative funding was cut from the state budget. So they don't know what they're going to do with that program. They're hoping federal will come through on that. I had the health department meeting this morning and the flu and cold vaccines are available. They did a study and plant-based diet links to lowering dementia risk in adults with cardiovascular disease. Cancer rates rising in younger adults, and they're finding out because of screening is better. They're doing it at a younger age, so they're detecting it faster. And that's it.
The Child Safety Matters, did they happen to mention who it was that got hired for that position?
No,
Okay.
they're going to bring that person next month there.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Christine. Bill?
Recycling and landfill, glass is being taken out the recycling center. And we're updating the bylaws. That's part of that group as well. And we had our household waste collection back in September. Lots of tires and just amazing that how many large TVs keep showing up. There was 12 pallet fulls, I believe, by the time we got done.
You're talking like the old tube style TVs? Or
Yeah,
like,
well, all the above.
Not familiar.
Mhm.
Not familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, before you tonight.
You're not that young.
I know. Board of Public Works, we approved our 2026 schedule and there's no projects going on there at this point in time. And then, transportation, state budget funding finally came through. Originally, they were talking at 28%, which is where we were at. They were gonna move that down to 26, but it got bumped up to 34. So that's a huge boost for us as far as, it's not near where it used to be, but we can certainly thank Greg Alexander because he went to bat for us on that. CMH contract was signed, so that means that, we've got a raise from them for the transportation that we provide for them as well. And, we're gonna be looking at a mobile lift grant. That's for, a piece of equipment that they can lift the buses on and repair them around the shop. So it'll be better than a stationary, lift. The dispatch training has been going on and the two new low buses are one's got a wrap on it, so that's going to be up and running, and then the other one's getting done. It looks really good. It has the courthouse is featured on it, the lighthouse. I think the other part of the other bus is going to have the train depot in Marlette, and I'm not sure what the fourth thing was on it, but they look really good. Those are a smaller bus and they can get right down low to the ground, so you can go in straight on a ramp. You don't have to go up.
Are any of those in service yet, Bill, or they're gonna be in
The
service?
one is in service now.
That's probably the one I've seen drive around, but it looks different than the other ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, I seen one over by Croswell.
made by a different organization. They seem to be much better than the ones we've had in the past. So as the buses become mature in the fleet, we'll try to move over and maybe go with those a little bit more in the future.
And you guys have been transitioning to gasoline engines to save cost on fuel
Yes.
because diesel's been.
Yeah, and then there's also a grant that's going to be coming out to move some of the gas to propane.
Okay.
Which will even save more money, but the cost has been significant on the savings from diesel to gas.
I mean, diesels ran $1 over gas for probably the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And never used to be that way, but.
So some good things happening with transportation.
Good.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Bill. Gary?
Okay, John, you already covered that we had a personnel meeting this morning. You've covered that. Planning meeting is at 3:00 this afternoon, here in the chambers. And, 2 weeks ago, I heard you mention about Delaware. 2 weeks ago, members of our Parks Board met with Delaware Township with their people. It was well accepted. There was myself, Jim Bowerman, Jim Turpning, and Jake, the Forester Township or Forester Park manager. And we went to the meeting, and Jim Bowerman did a great job. And the supervisor at Delaware has been there for some time, so he kind of knew the history of where we wanted to go. And basically, I'll just let let everyone know where we want to go. At some point in time, we'd like to move forward with the Delaware Park and put cabins there, put a new driveway in. But before we do all of that, we need water and we need sewer. And that's the reason we went to Delaware Park, to see if they were still on board with it long term. And definitely they are. There's a lot of work to be done. We've got to get quotes. We've got to get things. But even before that, we are looking at putting a new bridge and a couple cabins at Lexington Park. And we've applied for some grants there, so the money's probably going to be used there first, and we'll see what happens. But it looks like it's still a go. There's still a green light on it. There's interest by Delaware to do that, and we'll see how that goes. Last on my list here, and I had Jody make a copy for each of you for the Michigan. With the Materials Management Planning Committee, which I'm part of. Mr. Faber is part of here from Sandusky. And I made this copy because this is the informational packet that we gave out at the meeting at Huron County back on October 7th. Basically, probably the same information that we're going to pass out here. I don't know if you talked anymore about having our meeting in January, Nathan, or not.
Joanne had talked about either January or February with.
Yeah. Okay. So to get to the crux of it, really, if I think it's page 7, if you go to it, and I won't expand on it too long because it's pretty lengthy, but it lays out what it's about. It's to reduce the waste going to our landfills basically throughout the state. And in our group, in our committee, for the four counties, Tuscola, Huron, Lapeer, and Sandusky. So, and I'll just read it very quickly. You can read it later. Optimize recycling opportunities, including electronics recycling opportunities and the reuse of materials. To achieve this, a 45% municipal solid waste MSW recycling rate as an interim step by 2029 to achieve a 30% recycling rate. And I believe it's by 2030 that goes up to a little bit higher. And so if you look at that and go through it, it'll give you a better idea. And the reason I wanted to bring this to you, when it's all said and done, we go through the process of putting together a plan for the state, get it reviewed with our county and our townships. And if it's approved, then it's up to our commissioners to help implement that in our county and our townships. So we're going to have a part of it. So in my report.
Gary, just quick on the materials management. Is the state tilted their hand at all as how they're going to try to hold counties and townships accountable to these standards?
Well, if you read it, no, not really. There is basically, in layman's terminology, they're pushing to do it voluntarily. But I would think at some point in time, it's going to be a mandate, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan, that it is going to be mandated that we have to have it. I know the city of Sandusky already has recycling bins. And if I'm correct in what I was told in the last meeting, they want at least one dumpster in each township. Is that right, Nathan? Is that what I think?
It's so many per capita.
Yeah, per capita, yes, and that's in here. That's in this
Yes.
information.
And we should be good in this county because we've got the drop off site and then we've got some Croswell, we've got one of the northern end. We're in.
We were a little ahead of this, of the plan where some other counties didn't have those things.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It'll give you a better understanding. It's a bird's eye view, but it's the detail.
City of Marlette has a recycling pickup along with the garbage service every week, so.
So what does the city of Marlette do with the recycling they pick up? Do they distribute it to our recycling center or is there?
No.
That's like an independent service
Yeah,
and they
that's
deal with it
Emterra.
and they take it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of the concerns. We don't have a lot of recycling. We have one Tuscola, we have one here, you know. And the crux of it, if we have to take a Detroit, it costs more money, you know.
Right. But like, so Marlette residents probably pay a tax for
Yep.
that, right?
There's
Yeah.
extra on the garbage
Yeah.
bill.
So they're,
I think our total bill's I want to say $13.95 a month.
but those residents are paying a county tax for recycling too, so they're kind of paying for it twice.
We are,
Okay.
no, not kind of, we are.
You are. You want to be very clear about that, yeah.
Yes. I recycle, we recycle a lot. We actually have collected an extra bin because they blow down our dead end streets, so
You recycle the recycling bin?
we do that, or we usually can fill 2 a week. And we compost everything from the yard. I have a shredder, I make dirt out of it. It's a lot of work, but it keeps me moving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna start bagging it and selling it, I think.
Very good. Is that all your report, Gary?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you for a good report. Roger?
I left off Marlette Township. I did attend their meeting last week. One of the things out of their meeting, there's been a building there that they own. It used to be used by a diesel truck repair facility. And they have ceased renting that out other than for some storage, but they're gonna join that back with the airport property, which will then qualify it for some grants so they can do some maintenance on it. And possibly use it for the airport maintenance building, which would be a better use. So that was a good thing. Last Tuesday, I was at the drug task force meeting. There's an item on finance regarding that. Mental health, community mental health program committee was last Tuesday. Thursday, I attended a enhancing board governance training in Lapeer at the country club. It was very interesting. Just how to better conduct business at board meetings. It was, like I said, it was very interesting and enlightening. This afternoon later, I have a governing board meeting. Oh, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Roger.
Tomorrow for Thursday, I might make it to the courthouse retiree lunch. So that's always interesting. See what everybody's been up to.
Very good. I appreciate everyone's committee reports. We'll move on. I see no new unfinished business. That's going to move us directly into new business today. And today we're going to start out with FA 150-25, approval of current claims.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of current claims identified on the accounts payable report dated October 14, 2025. For the general bank account in the amount of $275,584.71.
Support. I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, support from Commissioner Ballard. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 151-25, budget adoptions, amendments, appropriations, and transfers.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the following amendments and establishes the following accounts as listed.
Support.
A motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 152-25, approval of additional general fund bank account checks charged to September 2025.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of additional general fund bank account checks charged to September 2025 as follows. $926,798.86 in ACH payments, $226,498.55 in checks for a total of $1,153,297.41.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 153-25, adoption of the courthouse painting policy.
Recommendation, Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby adopts the following courthouse painting policy as explained. Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Moody. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 154-25, adoption of the amendment to the workplace violence prevention policy and incidents complaint form.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby adopts the amendments to the following workplace violence prevention policy and the attached incident complaint form as follows.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Ehart. Is there any discussion?
Chairman Block,
Yes.
if I could, I know I talked about this last meeting with this being, the regular board meeting. I just wanted to express again, there has been some discussion amongst employees, or I think some concern over what happened that led to this. The need for this. Again, I just want to express this. This was an existing policy. One of the things in one of our security team meetings was talking about having an incident complaint form that involved incidents that wasn't just between two employees. So I said, let's not create a new policy. Let's just amend one we have rather than getting more policies going. But it raised a lot of, I think, concerns or questions in the building about why do we need this policy? What's going on? What took place? There was no event that took place. This is just something that is in place. So now any incident that happens, whether it's between two employees, whether it's between the public and an employee, there is a means to document it in the future. So I just wanted to dispel numerous rumors that were kind of floating around.
Good context, Nathan. Thank you. Any further discussion related to FA 154-25? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 155-25, approval of the 2026 agreement for extension services for MSU Extension.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the 2026 agreement for extension services by and between Sand Lake County and the Board of Trustees of Michigan State University, effective January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026 at a cost not to exceed $75,671 and further authorizes the board chairman to sign. Support.
I think it's carried.
Okay, I had a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Heberlein. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Carly, you're in for another year. Moving on to FA 156-25, approval of the contractual law enforcement services from the Sheriff's Office.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the non-expiring agreements for contractual law enforcement services between the Township Speaker and the Township of Elmer and the Sand Lake County Sheriff's Office and further authorizes the board chairman to sign the necessary agreements.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Moody. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 157-25, authorization of staff and command training, Sheriff's Office.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes sending Lieutenant Ronald Eddington and Lieutenant Michael Moore to the Michigan State University School of Staff and Command beginning at the end of January 2026 at a total cost not to exceed $8,600, with 75% reimbursement funded from the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority MMRMA grant and 25% reimbursed funding from the MCOL's Continuing Professional Education CPE grant funds.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarcella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 158-25, authorization of the Lexipol subscription for the Sheriff's Office.
Santa Ana County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes subscription renewal with Lexipol for policy management and training services for the Santa Ana County Sheriff's Office, Law Enforcement and Corrections Divisions at a cost not to exceed $24,610.57 for fiscal year 2025, with funding as outlined. Further authorizes the agreement to include the option for one additional one-year renewal based on available funds and future budget approval without further board action.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarcella, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 159-25, authorization of countywide housing study, Brownfield Redevelopment Authority.
Santa Ana County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to proceed with a countywide housing study at a cost not to exceed $16,000 with funding from the local Brownfield revolving fund. Further use of funding is dependent on grant being awarded in the amount of $50,000 from the Office of Rural Prosperity. Total project estimated to be $68,400.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarcella, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 160-25, authorization of local Brownfield revolving fund loan for the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority.
Santa Ana County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to proceed with a loan of $70,000 for the Port Sanilac Wellness and Lots Project with funding from the local Brownfield revolving fund. Order.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarcella, supported by Commissioner Ehart. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 161-25, authorization to pay invoices from the Household Hazardous Waste event. This is for the recycling center, and this will be off the salmon colored check copy.
Santa Ana County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes payment to ERG Environmental Services in an amount not to exceed $16,465.45 for various hazardous waste with funding from the recycling center budget.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarcella, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I collected $16,000 worth of that stuff when we were there. Just wanted to let you know that.
But you didn't get paid, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
That's even better. Thank you
Yeah,
for doing
that's how
that.
many TVs I have. Just to make that on them. You want
You're
that?
looking a little like you've been working
More
out.
well,
Yeah.
it's better you than me.
We do it for you, Bill.
Yes, thank you very much.
Nathan, what prompted the change?
So, yes, I'm glad you asked that question. I was gonna explain, I was contacted by Joanne Byer, recycling coordinator, yesterday, actually, and went down and talked to her. Apparently, I didn't understand, but both bills were submitted, but she said, that pesticides bill, she's supposed to just send directly to Tuscola County. They manage or have procured a multi-county grant that covers a collection. So us here on Lapeer, and Tuscola manages that grant. So everything should just go to them and then they submit it yearly with their request. So she said if we were to pay it, then it'd be like they'd get paid twice. There would have to be a reimbursement. She said that happened one year. So I told her, I think the best thing would be to make sure that those bills don't end up here, because then it appears as though we need to pay them. So
This was a reduction in the.
it was, yep, there was another grant that covered it. So it was no.
Any further discussion related to FA 161-25? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. At this time, I'll call for general public comments. Are there any general public comments today? Seeing none? Go ahead, Gary.
If I can, one of the board members that served with Bill on the recycle had a heart attack this past week, Rex Hazard. And they took him to Beaumont and he had 2 heart attacks before he got there, another one. And actually they lost him Saturday morning. And about 7 or 8 minutes later, they revived him. But the good news is he's doing well and he's going to be released Thursday.
Good. I know Rex is a friend of yours, Gary, so I'm sorry that happened, but that's good to hear that he must be one tough cookie to go through that.
That's the second time that's happened. So yeah,
Okay.
I guess he's got 9 lives. I don't know.
Yeah. Any further public comments today? Seeing none, we're gonna move on. I see no need for closed session or approval of closed session minutes, so if there's nothing further to come before the Board of Commissioners, I'll adjourn the meeting today at 1:54.
I'll make that motion.
Support. Motion and support, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Carl.